Hey, so right now we'll be watching Ōoku, The Inner Chambers, episode 7. And I don't really have much to say other than the fact that I'm really curious how this episode's gonna turn out, so now into the episode.
以後皆様にはお見知りおきの有子殿驚いた酒焼きがでも有子殿とそこの高貴なお方に顔が似てる足が女の上さり込んでこいとまあそういう
Well, I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't say that it's the shogun herself who can't bear children, because it would make the lineage look weak.
とんでもねえことでござい
Also the fact that the line can't continue if that's the case.
できるしで
Would they be able to pass off that maybe 2 men are seedless then, if it still doesn't work?
そなた年はいくつになるへい今年18
Oh wow.
そなたと同じ18あなたはまだわからぬだろうがのように似た顔にわからぬことがあればあなたも私も死ぬまでこの王をへい本人よろしこちらこそよかっこいいよあの顔形のことじゃあの上下の後ろありゃ腰痛が人のどこを見ているのだはあ
捨てぞまはやかましい男はお嫌いじゃの際ベラベラと喋るでないぞだいたいなんじゃそ
した方が色気が出ると思いました
なるほどそなたが捨てぞうか
捨てぞうと申しますんだよ上様だなんて可愛らしいお姫様じゃねえか上様なーに怖がることはござんす私に全てお任せくださりゃよろしいんですささ固くならねえで
無礼者つが高い
Oh shit, she refused. Oh, never mind. Also, sort of I thought that too. She wants to be the one in charge.
おはようございます朝げを有子様有子様有子様
In a fit of rage. He's not gonna eat. I'm still surprised she went through with it and slept with him. Oh, and I always assumed they would do it before she had to sleep with him. She's pregnant, isn't she? Oh no, oh don't tell me Arikoto's gonna go crazy and kill her then kill himself. Poison? I mean, wouldn't some poisons take time to take effect?
では午前をみな毒味王が一人前上様の分が8人前が残りまするぞはいつも全部のよれるお次の7人とそれから初田殿とでお召し上がりくださいませとはいえ多くの男たちは上様のお顔を拝することも叶いませぬせめて食事でだけでも気持ちを分かち合う
That's nice of him.
後ほど振る舞われるぞ
The fact that it looks like it was him, that she couldn't get pregnant.
有子様の菅の局様を一人が多く出やしなかったものな姫君ごた帰って今のご時世あずら放送にはかからねえです多くに品物を収めてじいさんでなきゃ女だって言う
そういや姫君が産んでも結局上様のご長は有子様が一心にお受けになってるって話だぜ
まお子さえ作れりゃお武家のご趣味だからね春日の局様も一安心ってところだろうよ
この度は姫君のお誕生をおめでとうござりまする執着至極に存じまする
皆の者大義であったの百姓どもが貧しさゆえに伝旗を売って逃げ出さぬよ伝旗の売買を禁じてみるのも一つの手いや小賢しいことを申したのわしは黙って世継ぎを産めばよいのだな子が長じた時世の中がどうなるのかどうにも気になってきてな
お変わりになられましたな進化に許せよ大義であったなどあのように優しげな上で話されるのを初めてお聞きいたした
ボスより何やらもっと器の大きな底知れなさを感じましたぞさすが落ち筋
とにかくこたびは姫君であったが様がお子をお産み遊ばすことのからだと分かったことが何よりじゃ
なんと言うても赤面放送この間三男坊を亡くしましての
どこの家も似たようなものじゃところは10歳と7歳の男子育ち上がるまでに流行が収まるかと
このままではおしになるお家もますます多くなろうな 近頃の町人らのように女を跡取りにするわけ
Why not? You have nothing else. You have no choice.
のぶつなど玉のようなとはよく言ったもんだ。で、この
Don't touch her, boy.
割ってはなりませぬ。そなたはこの千代姫の父親。名は今日からお楽と改めよう。のようなのんき者にふさわしい名じゃ。
上様はオイラみたいなゴロつきをこの姫
It's the truth, isn't it?
ありやせんが。
がおらねば、この姫はここには。
Unless it really is Arikoto. I doubt that though.
上様、オイラ。上様、ありがとうにございます。
あり
Ah,
そじゃあ、
when it's not Oraku.
名前は上様。
Oh, he's not gonna like that. Called him Oman first. It's
お前はしばらく下がっておれ。
like they gonna play Happy Family right now. Also, where does she come from?
お前だけだ。ありこ。
And maybe your daughter?
上だ。偉いってことに。
I'm pretty sure Gyoku's gonna kill you or something. Did he just die sporadically? Oh my god.
これで捨て像のようだ。
Hit his head.
心に麻痺が
Oh,
男としてものの
yeesh. Damn.
そういや、タズ様。やっぱり一晩持ちませんなんだ。そうのうなりました。男では途絶えちまうことに。もう隣の飯沼村では潰れたり逃げする百姓が出てきとるそうですよ。年貢に耐えきれず潰れる百姓が出れば、その分の年貢を村全体で負わねばならねえ。ただでさえお得手が減っているのに、これ以上年貢が重くなっては。
おっかさま、どうだろう。
Oh, that family keeps growing.
働いてもらうためを皆うちに集め、それで見て
Oh. Increasing their numbers. Yeah.
その分畑であろう。おっかさまち当たりかもしれない。何なさ
Okay.
文句を言うものは
A man.
出せてください。
Aww.
なに、俺
具合はいかがじゃ。甘いものがこう。また明日も。
on this particular play and taking 6 minutes. Again, the most important piece is the best defense.
He's very kind.
Better offense. So keeping Kansas City off the field.
かしこまりました。
早くにな。
このように細やかなお気遣い、何か心を慰められ
できてはおらぬよ。
He's so proud.
ここにいる。それにそれがしとて
They're all in the same boat.
あなたも病がちの西条。
それが必要でした。貧しくてもよい。
Wow.
はおらぬのかもしれません。ことです。
Oh, to not tell them so he no longer has to work there?
本人のままどちらにせよ、今となってはもう確かめようのない。
Messenger bird something?
腰抜け。
He just ran.
ああ、いえ、別に渡したわけやん。
Mhm.
ああ、いくらか。けど、つぼねが激しいなりませんや。あのババめ。おなしくなります。
I doubt that. She'll find somebody else.
務まるわけがおざい。そうやろうか。
The daughter died. Or she's sad about Ōoku.
春日じゃ、春日がいいと言った。
千恵様。
ありがとう。
束の間とは知りながら有子とはられた家光との仰せに溺れた。
She became pregnant.
そんな有子とを嘲笑うかのように、その美月の間にも二人。
溝口咲。
Oh no.
めっきとした武家のものじゃ。
様にお伝えしておきましょう。
よく分別をな。
Well, there's no point in having a fit over it. She's probably used to it now too. Knew that it would happen since they couldn't conceive a child.
よかろう、の男の子。
What if it becomes a pattern? She gets pregnant, then the man gets sick.
わしのおばば様の天国の世の中で三人次々と子を産んだ。私だけが耐えられぬ道理はあるまい。耐えられぬと思うたわ。わしがすでにそなたという愛しい夫。そなた以外の男とそうなど。
Yet she has.
子ができれば子は愛しい。もはや憎いとは思わなんだ。そしてその時分かったのじゃ。わしは耐えられ他の男の子を産んでも、わしがそなたを愛おしく思う気持ちは以前と何も。
Well, at the very least, there's that, I guess.
男を連れてこい。
I'll always love you.
他の男の子を何人わしの心にありこと。
なんと静かな名や以前と何も変わらぬとあなた様は
But you have
代わりになられ強うなった美しゅうなられたあなたが母におなりになった私にはあなたを母にさせて遊び
日焼けした朝黒い肌じゃのお夏と名付けよう。
Well, that was quick this time.
さて
Pregnant again.
今なんとおばに上がっての間にこう
What?
お前以外誰もおらぬ
Why?
産ませてほしいのや
He'll probably do it just for him. It never ceases to surprise me. This was surprising though, like, of course, what I just saw. But every time it ends, it always surprises me. So given how dark this series is, I honestly did think they were gonna do what they had planned to do, but I'm actually surprised that they didn't. They both endured what was gonna inevitably happen. And not only that, this proved that it was not her liege's fault. From what it looks like, it is Arikoto's fault. And that really is just the kicker there, really. The fact that they managed, in the terrible situation they're in, they both managed to find somebody they loved, and yet they can't do the one thing that she needs in order to stay in power and to continue the line. Because they're unable to do that, she has to sleep with other men in order to continue the line. And the fact that the first guy didn't necessarily seem as bad. He was a bit arrogant at first, but overall he did seem to have more of a personality type, like Arikoto, very soft, very demure. But as it happened, I find it funny in an ironic sense because I'm actually surprised that things of happenstance can happen here. The fact that his injury wasn't planned, it just happened. He was happy. That's what caused it. Him jumping up for joy is what caused him to fall and be paralyzed, no longer be useful to the Shogun. This show keeps surprising me. I never know what to expect. And the fact that this happened, but the condition is still going to continue. They were allowed a small reprieve when for 3 months they were able to be together again, just them. But inevitably the next man would come along if he couldn't get her pregnant. And considering the fact that 1, IVF wasn't a thing back then, and 2, there's no way of them just getting a random baby and passing it off as theirs, and this next example would still include there being another man part, but at the very least, them being together, having another man slip in there, and then when she gets pregnant from that man, pass it off as Arikoto so they can still be together indefinitely. Basically, have somebody else father her child, but have everybody else believe Arikoto is the father. These two really can't catch a break. They find happiness is taken away. Arikoto is bound to snap one day. Like, I assumed he would have snapped already. He sort of snapped earlier in the episode. After her first night with Ōoku, he tore up his room with his sword over the fact that the woman he loves has slept with another man. Which I kind of find not strange, his reaction, but I just find it strange in the fact that they're in a place that has male concubines. Even if the current person in charge has a favorite, they're still required to be with the others. The one in charge can't indefinitely just be with one person. They can have a favorite for a very long amount of time, but the fact is they more or less have to be with the others as well. They can't just pick and choose specifically only this one and that's it. That's not how that works. And the fact that this one is different, it isn't just that whoever goes to her bed gets her pregnant and they're also put in charge along with her, as it would be typically with an emperor and his concubine. If she were to give birth to a son, she would be the most likely one to be the next empress. In this one, that isn't the case. It doesn't matter who gets her pregnant, she's the only one that's gonna be in charge. And then her kid. There is no such thing as a co-rulership. It's just her and that's it. And I'm not saying I wanted them to actually do what they had planned in the last episode. I'm just surprised that they actually didn't. They had the mindfulness to not do it. Though it's still surprising that they didn't, considering how emotional they were. And now that we're gonna be on episode 8, it's only a matter of time before all this finally comes to an end. Cause I'm curious to know what's gonna happen with them now. How many more kids is she gonna have? And will she actually be able to keep her promise of the fact that he's the only one she loves? Because I kind of do find it a little bit hard to believe that she could sleep with so many men and yet not have some sort of feelings for them. I'm not saying she has to love them, but I'm just saying that how is it that you can sleep with so many and yet have no attachment to any one of them, especially if you sleep with them for a long extended amount of time and have a kid with them? I feel like there would have to be maybe some feelings. Not love, but at least some feelings. Because she did say she no longer loathed the man that she had her daughter with, but I don't think it was love, but I don't think it was disdain either. Like, she had felt something for him. And now, an even bigger twist. Gyokue has been asked to bed the woman he loves by Arikoto himself, which I'm guessing is more to represent the fact that if anybody had to sleep with the woman he loved, he would prefer it to be the man he's closest with, his one friend from the outside world. And also, I'm wondering if maybe she's gonna fall for him, or he's gonna fall for her, or they're just gonna both do it out of forced compliance. And also, would Kasuga even agree to that? Because it's so surprising to me the fact that although Lady Chie is the one in charge, she's still not the one in charge. Kasuga is the one completely in charge. I just find that strange, that she has so much power. Probably only due to the fact that she's a much older age. I'm also curious to know what the storyline's gonna be now, if they're gonna include that man's daughter who acts and looks more like a son than anything else. Because although she's in a sort of similar situation that Lady Chie is in, she herself doesn't hate the fact that she dresses like a man and acts like one. If anything, she's comfortable with it. She says that she forgets she's a woman, and the only reason she remembers is because she has her period every month. If it wasn't for that, she would still think of herself as a man full time because that's what she's most comfortable with. And apparently her father's the one that encouraged that, and now he's regretting it because now it's like, well, my daughter is useless. Like, she's not gonna be anything. And probably maybe some sort of shame due to the fact that his daughter prefers to be a man than a woman. And that's not how it should be. She should be a woman and act like one, not want to be like a man. And yeah, he still serves somebody in a very similar type of predicament, except she hates the fact, or she hated the fact that she has to look and dress like a man because she really wants to be a woman. Like, almost every time I think I know where the story's gonna go, they always throw a curveball that makes me go like, what? What's gonna happen next? I wasn't expecting that, like, literal confusion. And I am not inherently used to that. And it's just, I'm not saying I'm great at figuring out what's gonna happen, because if you watch enough anime or enough shows in general, you get the general tropes, you get what might happen. But the fact that I'm watching this show and yet so many twists and turns are happening that I didn't anticipate, and I thought maybe that could happen but I didn't vocalize it, or I didn't think it was a possibility more so than another one, and yet this show is very interesting. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. Like, it could just be a bias because I really like the show, but this is a good show. Sure, it's dark. It deals with sensitive topics and realities of people back then and in some cases now, but it's a really good show. I don't know if maybe because it's a Netflix show, maybe that's why it isn't talked about much, or maybe I've seen in some comments people say that the animation style isn't the best. I agree to that. In the last episode when Arikoto and Lady Chie were kissing, it did look weird. I was like, okay, that looks a little odd animation wise, but overall I think it's a good show. I don't think it's a badly animated show. It's certainly different than what most of the shows are. I mean, again, they're not alone in the fact that they have this disease or something happening where one or the other gender of a population has been wiped out for the most part, leaving very few left. But it is the first one that I've ever seen that deals with this type of situation. The only other one that I could maybe think fits similarly to this would be the Korean drama series The King's Affection. Since that Korean drama series deals with a similar topic. It starts off with the princess giving birth to twins, a boy and a girl. And due to the fact that they're twins, and also the fact that one of them was a girl and not a boy, the current king did not want that knowledge to be out in the open. He did not want them to know that this pregnancy involved a twin, and also the fact that the other twin in the womb was a girl, because that would somehow weaken the future prince's power because he shared a womb with a girl. That is some bullshit if I've heard any, but that was the excuse they gave. So they killed everybody in that place that knew that the princess had given birth to a twin boy and girl. And right when they were gonna strike down her daughter, they had already done the job for them. Because when they saw the baby girl, she wasn't breathing. So they decided to not slash her instead, and they left. Without realizing that the princess and the doctor and the nurse, they did something to her daughter to make it seem like she was dead when she wasn't. And afterwards, she was then given away to one of the servants to go and give to another family to raise. And she never expected to see her again. Until years later, when her son just happened to see this girl who looks just like him, and they end up switching places for a day so he can see what it's like outside and she can see what it's like being a prince. So a little while later, when they do the switch again, tragedy strikes. The crown prince is now dead, and now his twin sister has to take his place and pretend to be the prince. And she does so for over 10 years. So all this time, she hasn't been able to dress as a woman, wear makeup, like pretty things, because she has to pretend that she's her brother. Nobody can know that she was his twin sister and that she's pretending to be the crown prince. Nobody can know. The only one who does know is the woman who was there beside her mother when she gave birth, and the eunuch who served the late crown prince, and I believe one or two other people. But besides that, nobody knows. And the main character herself can never reveal to anybody that she's in fact a woman, due to the fact that everybody, including herself, that knows about her will be killed. So given that context, it reminds me of this show, and it also by extension reminds me of Akito from Fruits Baskets, because they all had to go through a very similar thing. They all had to pretend to be men when they were in fact women, all for a various amount of reasons. And now we're getting much closer to the end than I thought. Much sooner, at the very least, since I'm watching more episodes back to back now, and not like one or two one day, then switching, then again, which is what I normally do. At this point, I almost feel like I'm just watching it now. Well, one, because I like it, but two, I just want to know what happens at the end. I want to know, is episode 8 gonna be the last one with them, and then we finally go back to the female shogun we saw in the first episode? Or was that just a preview to maybe like another season when we're gonna see him again? And is it gonna be just about stories in history before the current times? Now, having said all of that, we can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.